We came so far from dreams. The path was hard for me. They thought we fall, you see. Well, look at us now, look at us now. We make it hot when we on the scene, yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team, yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around, you know that I roll with some kings. We sit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we. Tell me who better than we. We soaring to places you never could reach. When we walk in that spot, don't hear none of you speak. Shh, do you want peace or the peace? A king about to put you to sleep. Listen, my team is elite. You not even qualified to compete. He starving, he barely can eat. I guess that's why he always itching for beef. So I put him on ice and I told him to chill. Close your mouth if you can't pay for the meal. Making statements that you know you don't mean. Nice guy trying to act like he mean. Keep it a buck, keep it a bean. Attitudes will put you dudes in the beam. Isekai, he don't live in reality. Shake back, all become a fatality. Yeah, how you gon' hate when you mirror us? He think he a star, he ain't serious. X him out, we not on the same frequency. If you broke, you ain't hearing us. Work the screw, anime, that's how I feel, period. We winning, that's making them furious. We make it high when we on the scene, yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team, yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around, you know that I roll with some kings. We sit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we.
Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leo Mookie here, back with you with a new What If for you guys. And this is another one-shot. Actually, this is just a way for you guys who are basically mainly on my channel for my MHA content to know that I don't want to just do, well, Izuku What Is. And sure, I could do like other characters in MHA, but there's not really much I can do with them outside of Izuku, who is literally the perfect blank canvas, due to him being quirkless after all, and completely powerless, not even related to somebody basically overpowered or relevant to the story, like a lot of other shonen tropes like to do. So yeah, but if you guys know that I also continue doing that of Black Clover What Ifs with Asta, who is also a really amazing blank canvas character as well. Well, outside of knowing that Libe was always going to have his 5-leaf clover grimoire due to his mother and that 5-leaf clover grimoire deep devil that's connected to him as well. But that's beside the point. This one is another character who has a lot of potential and is starting to become one of my favorite characters in anime currently. And that is Will Serfort from Wistoria, Swords and Wands. The guy is also somewhat treated like an underdog in his series, just like Asta and Izuku. So I decided to make that of this What If channel focused on around these three. Focused on Deku, on Asta, and now Will. And for you guys to understand who Will is as a character, here's another What If one-shot. This is What If Will was in My Hero Academia. This is mainly for those who are not familiar with Will in the series of Wistoria after all, and mainly focusing on that of his character and his motivations, which I'll be transferring over to that of My Hero Academia. So, if you guys want to understand this, I hope you guys enjoy and look forward to my new What Ifs next year. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Will Serfort, 14 years of age, a blue-haired and glasses-wearing young man with a pretty scrawny and weak build. However, it doesn't, well, put aside that of him being that of a hard worker, as that of an orphan boy who didn't even know that of his parents, raised in an orphanage where he only had that of one friend, a childhood friend who would end up becoming his first love and only love, a blue-haired girl by the name of Alfiria Alphys. The two are inseparable, always together. However, there's only one problem. Will is quirkless, while Elfie was born with that of a powerful and quite unimaginable ice-type quirk, due to her quirk basically being amazing and out of this world, even more powerful than a once prominent Japanese family who known to have that of powerful ice quirks. Hers is on that of a whole other level, which gained the attention of several government organizations and pro heroes as well. However, Elfie turned them down all at once, as the only thing she ever wanted, and the only thing that she still wants to this day, is to be beside the person she loves the most, and that being Will. As for Will, he always dreamt of being a hero, always saw the potential and greatness that heroes have of protecting others no matter what. And when he saw that potential and also in Elfie, he told her that the two of them should become heroes together no matter what, and always together. And also told her to not let Will hold her back of becoming a hero, and that he'll catch up with her one day, and that the two will be together again, no matter what. The both of them made that promise at the age of 10. Since then, Elfie has basically was known to be a prodigy with her quirk after all. Perfect in every way of an emitter type quirk user. At the age of 13, she was soon decided to listen to Will and work hard to become a hero at the HPSC, leaving the boy she loves the most behind. But keeping her going is basically being with Will. As for Will, since he's quirkless, the only thing that keeps him going is trying to work hard and train hard to become a hero, to work alongside her, alongside the girl he loves. One thing that basically sets him forward is one man, a man that saw potential in Will and gave him something that would be a tool to help him achieve his goals, something that would change his life forever. And that was a sword, basically a katana. Since that day, Will has trained day in and day out to wield and master that of the blade, to the point that even at the orphanage where he was staying at, in that of Kyoto, saw potential in Will even though he's quirkless, and he was discriminated quite a bit because he had no quirk in their eyes. However, that all changed during one incident. It was during a villain attack. Some of the kids at the orphanage where Will goes to, coming back from that of his junior high school, were being attacked by a villain. The heroes, unable to do anything, basically had to wait for a pro to show up. Will, on the other hand, he didn't just stop there. He went forward, trying to take down the villains, as it was two villains. A villain with that of a pretty, basic, but still powerful fire quirk, able to send that of fireballs towards anybody coming his way. And the other person, a person with that of a skin hardening quirk, basically making his skin as hard as steel itself. P.S. Not like that of Tetsu's or Kirishima's, just a mediocre version of their quirks, though. Seeing the kids in danger, even though they constantly belittled him, bullied him, and basically looked down on him, he didn't stand aside and do nothing, unlike that of the pros. With unsheathing that of his katana, and one quick draw, as the guy sent that of his fireball towards Will, for some split second, in pure and utter instincts, tries to cut right through the fireball, but instead of it being cut in half or basically going right through that of Will, burning him to a crisp, instead, the flames were absorbed by the sword and Will itself, coating the katana, turning it into that of a flaming sword. The pros were shocked alongside the villains and even the kids from the orphanage too. Will, on the other hand, he was shocked, but mentally put it aside for the time being, as that of the fire villain tries to send more and more fireballs at Will, trying his best to basically knock back that of the boy who was once quirkless. With that of multiple slashes, dodges, and techniques that basically move past each and every one of the attacks, he soon cut off that of the hands of the fire villain, and then with that of one powerful slash as well, sending that of the skin hardening villain backwards, sent flying and basically rolling before hitting a wall. It was on that day, Will actually did have a quirk tied to swords. Since that day, the reason that nobody knew that Will had a quirk is because the orphanage where Will and Alfiria lived at all their lives didn't have the money to basically do that of quirk testing or anything like that. So they just had to wait and see what quirk that any of the kids get. And over time, they see if they can do anything to help them improve it. Gain at least some cheap support gears to at least help them understand them better. But since Will never awakened his quirk, they believed that he was quirkless all this time. It's only when he was given a sword by that of the man who would become his former mentor that his quirk would have fully awakened through understanding. This quirk would be known as Weiss. This quirk allows him to absorb any type of emitter type quirk into that of his blade at any time he wishes without the blade even being damaged by that of the quirk's properties. However, like it said, it only works on emitter type quirks. Transformation to mutant type quirks would not affect his sword, so that's kind of one downside. But even with that, Will, even finding out about his quirk, still didn't stop there. He continued to work hard, train hard, and do whatever he can to master his quirk and his body as well. However, even though how many times he trains his body, he always still looks like that of a string bean. And given his poor eyesight as well, his glasses always constantly got broken, which in turn kind of set back the orphanage a few times too. So they ended up having to buy him safety goggles to basically drag around to make sure that his next pair of glasses did not break. However, unfortunately, it didn't. Will would have to struggle with his training with that of his quirk in that of two ways. First one, major way, being the law, of course. Quirk usage is illegal, and not only that, sword use is outside of private properties and that of training halls for that of, Ei Jutsu or Kendo is completely prohibited. And since Will did not have a job and cannot work a job, given that he's only that of 13 to 14, it's kind of struggling for the kid. Not to mention another downside about that of his quirk as well, and that being, every time when he uses his quirk or overuses it, and I should say, he loses his memory, but not in that of a long-term kind of sense, but more of a short-term memory. Like, for example, if he uses his quirk constantly for almost like that of a good 2 to 3 hours without a proper break, then he ends up losing that of a good chunk of 50 minutes or an hour. Finding this out about that during that of a quirk test and evaluation with that of a doctor after all. But even so, with that knowledge, Will doesn't stop there. He continues to work hard, train hard, and only would use his quirk in case of emergencies, which soon led to him planning on going to UA. He originally was planning to go to that of Shuketsu, of course, given that it's the closest, but those who ran the orphanage told him that UA would be better, given that it's closer to that of Masafu, where there's an apartment complex that has that of free openings, and unlike that of Shuketsu, Will be able to take on a part-time job while going to UA, which means the orphanage will no longer be financing him or supporting him. Will basically be on his own and from now on. But even with all that, Will accepts and will always work hard for his dream of being a hero and to be side Elfie, hoping that she's doing well as well. After graduate with his exams at that of his junior high coming to an end, and now the entrance exam for UA, and given that Will is basically a bookworm that always constantly takes notes and basically writes everything down so he makes sure that he doesn't forget, the entrance exam's written portion wasn't so hard. However, he does catch that of a interaction between that of a, well, freckled and messy green-haired boy and that of a girl with that of brown bob-cut hair and that of eternal rosy cheeks. And when he looks at them, he couldn't help but think of him and Elfie, which made him a lot more positive in what's to come. During that of the exam, passes with flying colors with not even breaking a sweat. And during that of the auditorial hall, where President Mike explains on what they'll be doing for the practical portion of the entrance exam, same old, everything happens. Ida stands up, gets annoyed at the fact that they don't know about that of the 0-pointer, and also calls out that of Izuku for that of his muttering. Same old. However, he was almost about to call out Will for his own type of muttering as well, but luckily President Mike stopped that. Within, President Mike explaining that the 4th robot is worth 0 points. Just basically an obstacle that they need to avoid. Within hearing this, Will couldn't help but think that that's kind of makes sense, given that there are certain villains that are so powerful for heroes to take on. But then there has to be another reason behind it too, but decides to focus on that of the main thing that it's known for, being an obstacle. As for the testing site where, well, Will would basically go, instead of, well, going to the same practical area where Izuku would go, he goes to that of a different one. Unfortunately, it's the one where Bakugo is. And of course, he's kind of a pain in the ass to deal with. But with that, the entrance exam begins with now Will unsheathing his sword and blitzing through that of the area, cutting down and slicing up tons of robots as well, without even batting an eye, making sure to put on his goggles as well, and put his glasses somewhere safe, mainly in that of the, well, changing rooms, of course, not wanting to get them broken, as he basically blitzes through the robots with every slash, cut, and basically helping out those who feel like they're basically struggling as well. It's only when Bakugo tries to destroy a robot that Will was going for that he was able to dodge it at the same time before, but not even worried about that of Bakugo and running after another robot, as Bakugo sees on how fast he is. However, he also begins to wonder, what the heck is his quirk? Is it agility, speed, or something? Because he's only using a sword to cut through the robots and hasn't done anything flashy or related at all. But putting that aside, he continues to destroy as many robots as he can. And that's when the 0-pointer soon appears. The 0-pointer would basically do the same, everybody else to be running, but just like in canon, Bakugo would use this opportunity while everybody running away to destroy as many robots as he can. As for Will, on the other hand, he would do the complete and total opposite. He would use his opportunity to help out those who are basically being lagged behind, and to make sure that nobody gets in that of Bakugo's blast zone while destroying that of the robots at the same time. So in a way, Bakugo is helping out Will, and Will is helping out Bakugo from basically hitting anybody. And you could say Bakugo knows his surroundings and makes sure not to hit anybody. This is still Season 1 Bakugo, where he basically doesn't value anybody's life outside of his own. Doubtful he would care about anybody else. So yeah. So, while that of the time runs out, and in that of Will helping out as many people as he can, even a few people, being that of, well, Mina, Komori, and Mineta, surprisingly too. Well, a few other extras too. So yeah, I call that of a win-win. While heading back to that of Kyoto, and waiting for that of his entrance letter to see what he's done, that's when one of the caretakers of the orphanage shows up and basically gives the letter to Will. With then Will seeing out of the disc, which is basically a hologram disc, and through that of the image of the hologram, showing All Might in that of his tacky yellow suit and all, as he congrats that of Will for being able to have one of the highest ranking villain points and also rescue points in that of the exam. as he was able to take down at least out of 34 villain points, which would basically, well, show that he was capable to get into the hero course. Barely, at least. But what stands out the most and what makes him get closer into the hero course being the rescue points. And given all the people that he ended up saving and helping because of because to gain these rescue points are from that of the judges and the observers monitor room, which led to that of Will gaining 60 hero points, the same amount that Izuku would gain as well. So add that with that of his, 34 villain points, he gains that of 94 hero points, basically surpassing Bakugo, who only has that of 90 villain points and no rescue points whatsoever. So in a way, Will basically beats Bakugo for first place, only by that of 4 points. And with that, All Might welcomes him to that of his Hero Academia. And with that, Will couldn't help but get excited, be happy, and having that of tears of joy before messaging that of Elfie about the fact that he was able to make it into UA and that he's at least one step closer to becoming a pro. As for Elfie, well, since she's with the HPSC, you can already understand on the kind of training she's barely going through. And when she comes of age, just imagine that, what Hodgson and Gon had to do. But of course, due to her being a prodigy with her quirk, she basically, blitzed through everything without even breaking a sweat, showing on how gifted she truly is. But what truly is pushing her forward is being with Will, no matter what she has to do to be by his side, no matter what. After that, graduating from that of, from that of his junior high school, gathering his things, moving to that of Masafu, at that of the apartment complex, and surprisingly, there, he meets, or not surprisingly, depending on how you saw it, he meets Uraraka actually, because the apartment was basically done by that of her family's company, so that it means Will and Ochako are now neighbors. And with that, Will is now getting ready for his first day at UA after the 2 months of preparing, wearing his UA uniform, glasses on, as he says to himself, "Watch me, Elfie, I'll be there soon." As this is the start of Will's journey to become one of the world's best heroes, alongside his classmates. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Let's read them. So, how did you guys like this? This is mainly just a way for you guys to understand on who is Will after all. The kind of person that he is. As he's a person that is willing to defend and protect those in need, even those that he kind of see as his tormentors and bullies, just like Izuku. But is not afraid to work hard and train hard for his goal, mainly to be with the woman he loves, and that being Elfie after all. So, now you guys know. And who will be the newest person that I'll be doing what ifs on this channel. So yeah, at any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification to keep to date my videos uploaded to the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, gaming channel, side channel, other channel, Patreon, and Cash App. All linked in the description below if I'm not too lazy to do so. So, with all that said, this is Leon signing out. Later guys, and I hope you all have a wonderful new year in 2025. Finish this year off right, my Shiro.
Hi everyone, this is White Fox. If you liked Leon's video, click the video on the left to see the most recent one. And if you want to see more of this, click the subscribe button and notification bell and check out his playlists. If you still haven't subscribed, do so in the center. With that said, I hope to see you again on my love's channel. Bye!